All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, MMAOddsBreaker.com. I'm Frank Trigg, and that is Dennis Hallman, and he's back home. Tonight, right now, he should be getting ready to fight, but he didn't make weight yesterday and then took off due to family issues. But no one's really heard what the full explanation is. So what's going on, Dennis?
Yeah, the weight issue was we actually had an agreement to make 3 pounds over, and then Tiago changed it to 2 pounds over. But I was gonna make the weight anyways with the 2 hour weight cut. At first I didn't think I was gonna be able to, but then we had decided in the back that we were going to. But like I just had a nervous breakdown, man. The day before I left, my wife has this is pretty personal, but since you kicked my ass once and kicked me in the balls once again, I guess I'd rather share it with you than anybody else. So my wife has a drug problem, and trying to, it's a pretty sad situation, and we had her parents and we had a plan to send her to treatment, and it was going to be like one of those things where she got surprised and she went away to treatment. Well, somehow she caught wind of it or something, and she started acting crazy, and she told her and I became like, we got into an argument about the whole situation about her going to treatment and stuff, and she told me that she goes, "That's it. I'm gonna call the police and tell them that you pushed me, and you're gonna go to jail." Well, thank God, Brian Caraway and Misha Tate were downstairs at my house, and I have a balcony, so they could hear everything that was going on. So as she walked outside and went next door to call the police, we called the police from my house and said, "Hey, this is what this girl's gonna do." So the cops came over and talked with her, and then they talked with everybody that was in my house, and they said, "Hey, you can't be lying about that kind of thing," and they took her off the property. So the next day, she went to a judge and filed an emergency or I don't even not really familiar with how all this stuff works, but filed like some emergency restraint order. And the judge didn't look into anything. He didn't look into the fact that she just tried this the night before. And then the judge also gave her like rights to my car, and the girl had a drug DUI charge pending. She had to go to court. She was supposed to get arraigned for a drug DUI on Monday. They didn't even look into that. These judges just awarded her this, and so the night before I'm leaving, the cops come over to my house and they take my baby girl from me. And would take her out of my arms. She's screaming and crying, and it was just a nightmare, man. And then they gave her to my wife, who is, who needs to go to treatment for her drug addiction. And needless to say, man, I hadn't slept, literally, probably not slept more than 20 minutes at a time, all night, laying wide awake. I might be able to, kick 99% of people's asses in the world, but when it comes to my family, I'm a wreck. So all that combined with just the whole pressure of everything like that, and I would have pulled out of the fight prior, but I needed the money so bad, and then especially, I have to get a lawyer, to try to get my daughter back from this crazy stuff that's going on. And so I went to the fight, and then at the weigh-ins, everything came to a boiling point. And I just lost it, man. So I grabbed Dana and I just explained to him what was going on. Okay. And dude, no one can ever say another bad thing about that guy. He's the most stand-up when it comes to your family, dude. He's the most stand-up guy I've ever met. He put his arm around me, gave me a hug, and said, "Hey, fight's off, and we're going to take care of you and make sure that you're okay." And they got me a ticket to fly home, so now I'm home. They got me a ticket that night, and they gave me my show money and my win money, and said, get your act together, and we'll go from there. They did. Joe Silva did cut me and told me that I have to go make some weight. I'm kind of probably like the Anthony Johnson situation, which completely understandable, and this is, my personal issues can't roll over into the UFC's business issues, which is completely understandable. But what they did for me is beyond words, and it's the greatest organization in the world.
You know what? I saw that that they had cut you for not making weight, and I was like, yeah, rightfully so. They should cut him. He's a business guy. He didn't make weight, and I was like, hold on a second, though. They gave him his show money and his win money. There's more to this story because they don't get mad at you and give you your win money. There's something
Yeah.
else that was going behind. That's why I hit you up. I was like, look, I know there's something else going on. You got to find out what it is. Dude, this is huge, and believe me, I understand the crap you're going through a lot more than you think I do. I've been in the same situation, and it's horrible because you are a fighter and you've got this moniker set behind you, and these judges and these police officers like, oh well, it's got to be Dennis Hallman because he's a UFC fighter. I've seen him on TV, and it's not the way it works. There's always her truth to the story, your truth to the story, and what the story actually is. And unfortunately, being an athlete, you get the bad end of the deal, and you're going to be it's going to
Well,
be a tough long haul, and it's going to be very difficult for you. And thank gracious that you've got the UFC at least partly standing behind you and trying to help out to make sure everything goes right. Because this is horrible if you had to go through this by yourself and with
bro,
just your
you're telling
mom.
me. Well, this last Christmas they gave everybody an iPad for
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, and thank God when things started going a little bit awry, I started videotaping with the iPad camera. So I have videotape of her
Good.
passed out, like with her head in the dryer, passed out with her face in the refrigerator, like just snoring. It's pretty. I mean, it's terrible, but I got
But
video
you have it.
documentation. And then people, I mean, I'm going to get my daughter back. It's just girls from her work are going to go there and testify. I just want to get my wife into treatment and get help for her and that kind of thing. But she knows that the easiest way to hurt me is through my children, and she's
Yeah.
just trying to. People that are on drugs, it's just it takes them over and it turns them into different people, and you know, on top of all the garbage that's fallen on top of me, God bless me with having a strong heart, but He also blessed me with having the right people in my life to be able to help me through this. Because I just can't say enough good about the UFC and how they've helped me out with this.
Man, that's a huge deal. And like I said, it's so difficult to go through something like this, especially as an athlete. And now everyone thinks because they see on TV that you're loaded, it'll be okay. And they don't realize that, that job, that fight tonight was how are you going to pay your bills for the next couple of months? And now all that money is going to pay for lawyers and attorneys. You're back to square one again, just like, the old heads like me. We go back to square one again, trying to find a way to make all of our bills get met. And it's so difficult. And man, it's going to be a tough, long road, but hopefully you can get through it and things are going to be easier. And I knew there was a bigger issue behind than you just not making weight for you to walk in and be that far over the day of. There's no way that you would do that, especially for as
I
long as you've been in
wasn't
the
even that
sport.
far over. Like that was what it was. Is I got like a couple pounds over, and I started blacking out, and so that we put a half a bag of IV fluid back in me because I was. It was partially due to me not sleeping for those, the
Yeah.
days leading up. I was passing out from being so exhausted and tired, and then we were going to make the weight. It was just a matter of we were going to make the agreed upon 3 pounds over,
Right.
and so the fight would have been able to happen. But I mean, it's embarrassing to even say, but like I lost my mind. I lost my marbles, dude. I couldn't
It's
even.
not embarrassing to say that. You're talking about your daughter. That's not embarrassing. What kind of man would you be if you're embarrassed about losing your marbles over losing your daughter? That's 100%. That's the man thing to do. Any other guy out there that doesn't go crazy over losing their kids, that's not a real man. You're a real man by losing it like that, especially in an event like this where you spent weeks and weeks and weeks and years and years preparing to get out there and compete, and your daughter's being taken away from you. I can't even. I wouldn't even be able to show up to being able to show up on the scales. I would have fell apart a lot sooner than that. Believe me, you are a real man. Do not be embarrassed at all by anything like that coming out from someone messing with your family. You should stand up and hold your head high and push yourself through this to make sure you get your daughter back and get your wife in treatment. And if you love her, get her in treatment, get her fixed, get her healthy, and push this underneath the rug. If you don't love her, still get her in treatment, still get her healthy, but get her so she can, if you guys divorce or get separated, she can still take care of your daughter when she has her. So you still have to take care of your wife regardless of what happens. But you're a real
Respect
man to be able to stand
your
up and
point of
walk
view
away.
for sure. You're right, man.
Dude, that is so hard, man. And Dennis, you and I will stay in contact definitely by phone. So I want to know what goes on with you and make sure everything's all right. Because I understand personally how this stuff can mess with you and how bad it gets. You know, I really appreciate you taking the time and coming out here with MMA Odds Breaker. And I know that you wanted to keep quiet and want to stay out of it. And now I'm kind of glad that that I got to fight you twice, so that you at least come on here for an interview years later. So I appreciate it, man, and I hope things go well for you.
Thanks, bro.
I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.